What's up, everybody? Welcome to Water. My name is Tyler, and I'm your real-life remembrancer. Today, we're back at the PC for another Horus Heresy Thursday reveal. Let's jump into it. So, jumping into the article, we can see that today they've revealed the new plastic Spartan assault tank, and this is it in all of its glory. Now, the first thing that I wanted to do as soon as I saw this was check it against the Forge World model and see if any, real noticeable changes had been made or if they really just recreated the model in plastic. So we take a quick look at the Horus Heresy model. I kind of looked through everything, looking through this area here, seeing if the hatch was the same, the smokestacks, this whole area back here, where the sponsons are, all of the little details about how the armor plating kind of comes out further here, all of the armor plating details around this section. And as far as I can tell, everything's pretty much identical, or as close to as identical as you could get in a material transference of this sort. However, after I took a look at that, the thing that really jumped out was the thing that pretty much everybody's talking about right now, which is this guy, the Mark II Marine. Let me see if I can zoom in on him. Yeah, there we go. So this is a Mark II Marine that they've got on the sponson, on the turret rather. And that could be a sign. So I watched Valrock's video on this. He did talk about the fact that he's heard some rumors that they're going to redo. Not only are they going to do Mark II in plastic, but they're going to take the current plastic Mark III and Mark IV kits and redo those entirely. And then obviously we've got the new Mark VI kit coming. I still don't think they'll ever do anything officially in Mark V, since it's really just meant to be more of a hodgepodge of marks than like an actual mark. But that's really interesting because, quite frankly, when they announced all of this stuff, I didn't think that was going to happen. So I did assume that we were going to get Mark II in plastic. They were bringing over Mark VI. We knew that from the box set. And Mark II seemed pretty in the cards, I guess, to me, simply because they have Mark II in resin, and Mark II certainly has a large role to play in the Heresy, and so it just seemed to kind of make sense. We'll have 2, 3, 4, and 6, and that kind of added up to me. However, what I didn't expect was for them to redo 3 and 4. They've already done those kits in plastic, and so, having all these different armor marks is already, I think, kind of a stretch for GW. Now, again, what we want as consumers versus what they're willing to do as a company are two different things. And what I'm specifically referring to here is what they're willing to do as a company. If they're going to make a new plastic kit, it needs to sell. And if it doesn't, they're just not going to make it. That's just the way they operate now. It's all about those profits. So while I expected the Mark II and Mark VI to be added, I certainly didn't, sorry, I keep hitting the mic. I certainly didn't expect them to invest any money in redoing the already plastic 3 and 4. But maybe Valrock's, rumors will be true, and maybe we'll get new 3 and 4. I think that would be cool because they're doing the new 2 and 6 in true scale. And so I guess that it, I don't know. Games Workshop doesn't seem to really care about this kind of thing. Based on their actions in the past. However, maybe because it's Horus Heresy, maybe because people are going to care, and people, they know people are going to be mixing different marks into the same squad. And so it is possible that they think redoing Mark III and Mark IV is worth it for them in the long run. If they do that, great. I definitely want true scale and more interesting poses and all that stuff. I just don't see it. I still think Mark III and Mark IV are just going to be kept the way they are. But hey, we'll see. Anyway, seeing this guy in Mark II is definitely very exciting. Hopefully that means we get plastic Mark II announced soon. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, we looked through pretty much the whole tank. And here, where it's in view. We looked through pretty much the whole tank. And it's, it's the same as the resin version, and so that's great. I'm really excited to see it. I'm glad it's coming out in plastic. It's going to be great to have kits like this more available to newer hobbyists. Obviously, the Forge World kits, especially the vehicles, are a little more difficult to manage. And I honestly think the price point on this is probably going to be pretty close to the resin miniature. GW prices are they're really going up, and a lot of the between Forge World and plastic, where people would previously say, you know, Forge World's not worth it because the quality is slightly lower in the resin, maybe not the detail, but the quality. And you know, it's just harder to manage and it's way more expensive. But we've really seen that gap between the prices close down with all these price hikes in plastic. And, you know, the price hikes have been applied to the resin, but not quite to the same extent. And generally, the newer plastic kits that are released at higher price points rather than simply being affected by the inflationary changes. You know, GW comes out and says, hey, we're doing an inflationary change where everything's going up by 5% except X, Y, and Z. But there have been other instances where prices have gone way up by comparison simply when a model is remade. One of the best examples is the monolith, the Necron monolith. It's like $140 now instead of $70 or whatever it was. It almost doubled in price being, you know, just having a new kit developed. And so things like that, things like the monolith, have really driven that gap between Forge World and GW a lot closer. So I honestly don't think that this is going to be much of a cost saving situation compared to the resin miniature, but it's certainly going to be easier to work with and just easier to get a hold of, and it'll be available in stores and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll see new hobbyists rocking and rolling with this beast. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hopefully we see the Mark II reveal soon. This was a pretty expected one. Everybody kind of knew the Spartan Assault Tank coming down the pipeline. We did see in the video, let me just turn this volume off real quick, that they showed off the Cataphracti Terminators that we know are in the box set. So it looks like they're not obviously redoing these. Not that I expected them to, not that they even need to at all. It's a great kit, but obviously by them showing them in this video, you know, we're not getting new Terminators. So that's good to know at least. And yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.